Hi everyone, it's Lindsay. Welcome back to another video. Today I want to share with you a really easy way to alter a composition notebook. I do a lot of reading throughout the year and I like to keep track of what I read so I can share it on my blog, and just because I have a tendency to forget what books I've read. And I've been looking at reading journals. I couldn't find anything that I really liked that was what I wanted, so I decided to create my own. Now, I could have gone and bought a bullet journal. That would have been fine, but I have some composition notebooks lying around and I had a graph one, so I thought, why not just turn that into my reading journal? I already have it. I have the stuff I need to do it, so that's what I did. So the great thing about composition notebooks are they come in a few different styles. I'm going to be using the graph style today, but you can use the wide ruled or college ruled. The only thing that you want to make sure of is that you have one with a cardboard cover. The plastic covers just don't hold up with the adhesive. So the first thing you're going to need today, like I said, is a composition notebook. Any style will do. Just make sure it has that cardboard cover. The adhesive will not stick very well to that plastic cover that you can get on them now. You're also going to need some kind of cardstock. I'm using just craft. You can use white, you can use patterned paper, whatever it is you want to do. You could even use glitter cardstock if you wanted to. Just have fun with it. Go with whatever your style is. You're also going to need some adhesive. I'm using tape adhesive, but I have to tell you that on the inside of my composition notebook, I was able to get away with using just a regular Elmer's glue stick. Now that's not going to get as much wear and tear, so I'm not so worried about it. You can also get a craft glue stick, and that goes a long way. You don't have to spend a lot of money to get a really good adhesive. The only thing to avoid, I would say, is using a lot of liquid adhesive. That's going to make your cardstock bubble up and warp. So stick with your tape or your glue, or just spread your liquid adhesive really thin. You're also going to need something to cut your paper with. I am using a craft blade. This is just one I picked up at my local Home Depot store. Nothing fancy. Or you can use scissors. If you're going to use that craft blade, make sure that you protect your work surface underneath while you cut, so you're going to need a cutting mat of some kind. So to alter this, really simple. And then you're just going to kind of go with your style. The first thing you need to do is cover up that cardboard. So what I like to do is go in with my tape adhesive on all four sides. Now I go really close to the edge because that's where it's going to be most likely to peel up, that cardstock. This journal is going to be used all year. It's going to be taken in and out and shoved in and out of my bookshelf. I'm not super careful, and a lot of times I just kind of want to get things done and get moving on to the next thing. So I'm not super careful. So I like to make sure that those edges, I have really adhered them well, and I've gotten that tape as close as possible to the edge to really keep that nice and secure. So I go all the way around. I'm using 1/2 inch here with the tape, but again, you can use 1/4 inch, you can use 1/8 inch. You're going to have to use a lot if you use 1/8 inch. You can even go really big and just use a full sheet if you wanted to. Then I like to come in with a little bit smaller. This is about 3/8 of an inch, and I just go in between each one of those larger sections. Now I like to use my scissors here to get a really nice clean cut. If you tear, sometimes you get those little kind of shreddy edges, and that's not going to adhere as well. So just use your scissors, take a few extra seconds, and just cut it down to size and bump those right up against each other. Then you just need to remove the backing paper. I like to give it a good press with my fingers, and then that backing paper comes up really simple and easily. Now, if you are making these to sell and you are worried about using this much adhesive, what you could do actually is go around just the edges with your tape adhesive. And then the center, you could use a glue stick, and that would cut down on that tape adhesive, but you're still going to get that strength on the edges where you really need it. I just like to use the tape adhesive because I'm a little impatient and I don't like to wait for the glue stick to dry. If you are using the glue stick though, what I would suggest to do, like I said, use the tape around the edges, glue stick in the middle, and then just flip that over once you get your paper on there and put something heavy on top of it. If you're making a lot of these, just stack them one on top of the other, and that pressure is going to hold that paper in place while the glue dries. So once I have all my backing paper removed, I like to use a full sheet of cardstock here. I don't measure or cut before I put this down. I don't like to fuss with it. Then I have to get everything lined up perfectly. This makes it a lot easier. I put it down up against that edge and kind of roll it over the tape. So I bump it up next to that black kind of tape there. And then once I have that secured, I just roll it right across the rest of the notebook. That way I don't have any bubbles and I don't have any warping. I don't have any weird creases. That really helps with securing it down. It also helps to secure it down when you leave it larger. So even if you want to cut off a few inches, that's fine. But give yourself enough wiggle room to where you are not fussing around with this. It's just going to make you mad. Then go in and cut it down to size once you have it on there. That cardboard is nice and thick, so it gives you a nice edge for your blade. Again, if you have a craft blade, this makes it really, really quick. The scissors can get a little bit cumbersome, but you can by all means use scissors. You just might not get as close of a cut as you can with that craft blade. But if you're using a craft blade, put something underneath so you're not cutting into your work surface. I'm using a glass mat here. You can use just a regular old cutting board, whatever you have on hand. Just make sure you protect your work surface. I like to go around the long edge first, and then I turn to my side edges. And that craft blade makes it super easy to get into those little curved corners too. I bump my knife edge right up against that cardboard and then slightly turn it towards the cardboard. And that way it gets as close as possible. There's no overhang whatsoever, and it's nice and flush. Now, like I said, you can also glue it on the inside. If you are going to sell these or if you want to give them as a gift, and kiddos are going to use these in school, the insides a lot of times have really great information, so you might not want to cover that up. But if you're like me and you're going to use this as more of a journal, you want that extra space, I'm going to cover mine up with craft cardstock. Now, I didn't do it on camera, but all you do is eat the exact same thing. The only thing different, I just used plain glue stick for the inside. I didn't use any tape. So that's the only difference, but the exact same process. So that is really the only steadfast thing you need to do. Now comes the fun part, and you can decorate this however you want. You can use more paper, you can use paints, you can use stamps, you can just doodle on it if you want. I'm going to use stickers. So these are a stationery set of stickers that I drew last year. I thought it would be really fun just to use them and go with the reading journal theme that I have going on here. So I will have these over on Etsy. It's going to come in one file. You get the large version and you get the small version. And then there will also be black and white PNGs if you want to add your own color, if you want to use them as stamps, digital stamps. There will be a lot of different ways you can use these. You can turn them into stickers like I did here. I have a video on using or on printing off stickers, and I will leave that linked up in the top right-hand corner. So I just peel off the backing of my sticker. I kind of get a plan in my head first, kind of lay it out on the journal itself, and then I just start sticking them down. So my front cover was more just the title, what this book is, what I'm using it for, but the back I am going to use as like my 5-star books. I rarely ever like a book enough to give it a 5-star, so this will be plenty of space for me throughout the year. And what I do with my reading journal is I recognize what I read by covers. I don't know if anybody else is that kind of a visual person, so I like to, every month at the end of the month, I print off all my covers and I go and I paste them in on my reviews that I've done, and then I will also, if it is a 5-star, I'll go ahead and print off another one and stick it back here so I can be like, oh yeah, I really love that book. Maybe I want to read it again. Probably not. Rarely do I ever read a book again, but I can look back and I can remember that book and kind of what it was about. So I'm just going to write Hall of Fame on this larger piece of notebook paper, and I put a little washi tape up at the top. That is also included in the sticker set. I like to kind of plan out my writing with a pencil, and then I go over it with a Sharpie or whatever kind of marker you want to use. I'm just using black here, keeping it really simple. Then I'm going to add another little post-it note at the bottom there and put 5 stars, so I know exactly what's going to be on the back of this. And then that is really it for the decorating. Like I said, I will go ahead and cover the insides too with just regular craft cardstock, and that's where I'm going to put some of my more favorite stickers that I might buy that have to do with reading, or some that I create that I just really like. I'll stick those on the inside covers. I don't need the information on those. So that is what I will do with mine. You can also add pockets to these on the inside and keep little notes in there. Really fun things you can do with them. You can add ribbons so you can keep your place. I like to just keep a little binder clip. That helps me keep my place. But that is it for altering. If you want to stick around and see how I use this as a reading journal, you can keep watching. But that's it for altering. Now on to the reading journal part. So I created a reading tracker. That's my daily log of how much I read every day. I try to read a little bit. I have like a 10-minute thing that I like to do. I normally read at night in bed. Sometimes I listen to audiobooks during the day, not always. And then I like to keep this kind of bookshelf of all the books that I read throughout the year, and that's just where the titles go. So that way I can kind of remind myself of what I've read. Now these are just my memento markers. Draw out my little patterns and then I just color them in with my marker. Super simple and easy to do. They're just rectangles. That's all that is. Then I have my goals on the next page. So this year I want to read kind of a Christmassy romance every year, or not every year, every month. And then once a month, I also want to read one classic. I'm trying to read more of those. And then I also have my do not finish list, my DNF list. That's ones that I pick up and I'm like, this isn't for me. So I put it down. I'll write why I put it down. So that way I can keep track of what I don't like throughout the year. Especially if I'm having like a lot of the same authors that I don't really like, then I won't go back and pick those up again. And then it's on to my months. So I just do a month title page. And then from on, I just do the books I read in the month. Now, I will show you what I do at the end of each month, at the end of this month, so I can get some books read and then write them down and show you the layout for that. But it's really, really simple. Just do a title, just do kind of what I think about the book, that kind of thing, what I've rated it, really simple. And to kind of recognize each month just without having to flip and flip and flip, I just do a little tab that I have the month name on. Now in the front, you've seen that some of these were washi taped together, these 2 pages. That is because with a composition notebook, the pages are pretty thin. These are pages that I am going to be writing on at least 3 to 4 times a week. I'm going to be filling in those little bubbles. I'm going to be writing a lot on them. So I went ahead and taped them together with some washi tape on the edges. Then in between those two, I just slide a piece of thick cardstock that I've cut down, and that just keeps it from bleeding into the next page. That's my really simple way. I did that on my first 2 pages and then on my second 2 pages as well. Now I also have one that I just keep and I just rotate back behind each page that I'm working on. So when I do my February, I'll kind of move it behind that page, do my decorating, and then as I do each little book page that I read, then I will go ahead and slide that under as I work on it. Just gives me a nice smooth surface to work on, and it's not going to bleed. This is kind of the layout that I go with. I will show you more in depth at the end of this month once I filled in a few spots. I just do title, author, genre, and then this gives me my stats at the end of the year. So like how many pages I've read throughout the year, if I'm reading mostly ebooks, physical books, or audiobooks. I don't read a ton of physical anymore. It's mostly ebooks and audiobooks. And then I've got like my summary and my final thoughts. If I have a favorite quote, would I recommend it? Sometimes I'm like, nah, don't even waste your time on it. I wasted mine, don't waste yours. Kind of those things. But this is where I keep all of my kind of reading journal stuff. However, I also have a Goodreads if you are also into reading. I keep my Goodreads up to date all the time as well. You can follow me over there. Here's my year of 2021 in books. So I read 93 books, I think was my final number, and then it just gives kind of a look over of what I like to read. I read a little bit of everything. Now, this channel isn't going to turn into a reading channel, but I do like to share what I've read throughout the year, and I will post periodic updates and things like that. So if you like to read and you want to create a reading journal, you can absolutely follow along with me, and we can have some fun this year. That's going to do it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and a look at how you can alter composition notebooks to fit your journaling needs. If you want to snag that sticker set that I showed, you can find that on my Etsy shop. It will be linked down below. And that is going to do it for me today. I hope everyone has a great 2022, and until next time, happy crafting!